All of us are here today responding to the call to people of conscience around the world to stand up against this unlawful criminal aggression against the Palestinian people. We stand together with people all over the world and raise our voices in the urgent call for the international community to take immediate action to put a stop to these violent attacks on Gaza. As you all know, Gaza is densely populated, with 1.5 million people living within a 140 square mile area in what amounts to an open-air prison. And I think you probably, as I have tried to imagine what it would be like to be contained within an area of half of Edmonton with 1.5 million people surrounded, you know, as you are by the Israeli occupiers. The world and all of us have not forgotten, as was just mentioned, that the last time Israel attacked Gaza in Operation Cast Lead, it gratuitously killed 1,400 people and no less than 330 children. Our hearts go out to the people of Gaza and all of Palestine. Once more, we are saddened by the terrible toll of Israeli Zionist aggression, but we are also inspired by the courage and determination of the people to win their aspirations. May I share just one example with you? A 13-year-old girl, Dua Hijazi, was coming back to her home in Gaza's Sabra neighborhood after a walk with her mother and siblings when an Israeli missile fired on the road in front of their home around 8 o'clock at night. I was bleeding a lot, she said. My brother was injured too in his hand. The neighbors brought me to the hospital. Dua sustained shrapnel injuries throughout her upper body with some pieces still embedded in her chest. She would like to pass on a message to other children living outside of Gaza. I say we are children. There is nothing that is our fault to have to face this. They are occupying us, and I will say, as Abu Omar said, if you're a mountain, the wind won't shake you. We're not afraid, we'll stay strong. Now, to me, that statement from this little girl, it really exists as a challenge to us. Because we're outraged by the disinformation and outright lies of the Harper government. We're outraged by its all-out support for Israeli Zionism.
Canada needs an anti-war government!
Canada needs an anti-war government! According to this disinformation, these unjustified killings of civilians are said to have provoked rocket attacks from Gaza. And it is these rocket attacks the Zionists are using as their pretext to wage a broader assault on Gaza according to their Hitlerite policy of collective punishment. Now the world has declared that these things cannot be allowed, cannot be permitted. Collective punishment was the tool of the Nazis, and the people of the world said never again. And yet we have a government in Canada which is supporting the use of collective punishment, which supports aggression, occupation, and war. They've joined the Zionist disinformation, trying to construe aggression and war crimes as self-defense. And we have a government which makes such statements as this: we fundamentally believe that defend itself and its citizens from terrorist threats. Notice how the Harperites always blame the opponents of Zionism as those who attack Jews, where it is they who confound Zionism and Jews. Not all Jews are Zionists, and not all Zionists are Jews, because Harper himself is a Zionist. So this confounding and this trying to put the blame on the people for this racism, for this vile policy, it will not pass. So, you know, what can we say today? At these times, we're overwhelmed by the feeling of what can we do. So we come here and we gain some strength together, and I'm sure that the fact that people are gathering all over the world does give strength to the people of Gaza. But when we stand here and we denounce Harper, then, you know, he's ours. It's our job, and we have to step up to the plate. So what we have to say today, I think, together, is that we have a project. You know, we have something we have to do. We have to work and do the work that's necessary to have an anti-war government in Canada. How is it that these people come to occupy the seats of Parliament when we know that Canadians do not agree with war and aggression as a way to solve disputes in the world? We know they don't represent the Canadian people, but they're there. And they're going to be there until we change that situation, until we put a government in place which is going to have to, be held accountable by Canadians on the fact that we want a government which is for peace and which will be a factor for peace in the world, which will stand up and defend the Palestinian people, which will not be making threats against the people of Iran and war plans against Syria and against the people of Iran. We need to have that anti-war government. So in our support and our sympathy for the people of Gaza, we also have to take up the job that is ours. And that is that work to form an anti-war government in Canada. Thank you very much.